Hello and welcome back. My name is Tuxedo Ian. We are continuing with our playthrough of Book of Hours. And last we left off, it was getting close to the end of winter. We managed to read some books, gain some new skills, and we are going to dive back in and see what we can get done today. So let's go. All right, where we left off, we had just started reading a book down here, the Journal of Thomas DeWolf, which will give us some more oronoscopy skill. We have a storm that would give us some heart and sky. So let's see, we can get Mrs. Kill to help us out here. Yeah, we'll go ahead and call Mrs. Kill out. Mrs. Kill's mood always improves when I drop by. Alright, and we will talk to her about the storm. We give her, that will get her to 5 heart, and then we just need to give her the bowls to get her to 6, and we can open up this reeking chamber. Or we could try and push her to 9. 5, 6, 7, 8 with the bowls. And let's see, I think, do we have anything that give us one more heart? Yes, we do, some Schloss Jennings. Yes, so we can actually push her to 9 and open up this blockaded stairs that we got opened up. And see what else we have. We have an impertinent vigilation, so we do want to read that today, so we will rest our Arab to get the 2 grail from that. We also want to read the Book of Cinders. I think we can actually get started on that now. Yeah, we can start Book of Cinders here, because we can read that with and use our metal and transformations and liberations. And this will give us information on pyroglyphics. I can master this mystery. So we are going to need, we are going to need a grail memory. So we can maybe get that from Mrs. Kill here once we get hers souped up. We'll give her the bowls, which will get her to 6. Give her the Schloss Jennings, which gets her to 7. I can offer my assistant something to drink. A nice drop. Okay, so Arab is better. As soon as this book is finished, we can read something and get a Grail memory. Down to the Grushians. And we could use this can of ham to get our last 2, but I think we'll go ahead and use the core for now, because the can of ham we'd need to replace. So this will get her to 9, and we'll be able to open up this blockaded stairs. Okay, and we had memory salt. Oronoscopy. So this is the Journal of Thomas DeWolf. Thomas DeWolf, the second Baron Brankrug, was nicknamed Baron Silence of Castle Silence for his taciturn severity, most likely the origin, eventually, of the name Hush House. There are very few personal details here. Thomas, a talented astronomer and oronoscopist, dispassionately details his observations about the building of the observatory atop the Watchman's Tower. As he records the passing of the Great Comet in 1577, the tone finally becomes more animated, but also more obscure. Thomas cites his dawn period namesake, Abbot Thomas, as an authority on wind, moon, and shell in the heavens inferior. He observes, "My predecessor knew this truth. 3 blossoms hath the watchman's tree, paper, ink, and flame. The great comet, I now aver, is that flame." So we will mark this with memory salt to remind us that that's what it gives us, although we've already got a memory salt book, so we can stick this onto our red shelf over here. And then we need a book that will give us 2 grails. So let's see, let's poke around here. So that's Rose and Moon. Ah, there we go. Satisfaction. Kittling Ripe's Tasty Treats. And this will give us Satisfaction, which will give us the 2 grail we need to read an Impertinent Vigilation. And we need to read also something that will give us... Let's see, we can read... We need 6 Sky for that, so we can read a 7th Voice and get 2... Sky from that. And while that's working, we can take our oronoscopy and we can level it up to level 2 with our tryst. There's always more to learn. My assistant and I are both a little merrier. So we can put her to work on the blockaded stairs. Someone has filled these stairs with blocks of timber and broken furniture. They've filled the timber and furniture with signs to bring shadow and despair. Did they want to prevent an intruder from passing or a resident from leaving? Either way, it'll be difficult and careful work to open the stairs. So we'll put Mrs. Kill to work on that. And we finished reading the Book of Cinders, ostensibly an 18th century fireworks manual, but with some exotic ingredient choices and a substantial section on rephromancy, divination from ashes. The text takes as its theme the motto of the Society of the Noble Endeavor, Aliter propice ignis cinerbis. A fire by its own ashes is nourished, and uses this as a way into discussion of alchemical techniques. A surprisingly casual final section mentions that iotic essence, the root of the great and exultant ink orphimental, can be refined with enough forge from a variety of liquids. So that gives us a hint for a scholar recipe. So we can make iotic essence with 10 forge and a liquid. We have learned pyroglyphics and another book that gives us foresight. So we will mark down that that's a foresight book. And we already have a foresight book in here somewhere. But having another one is not going to hurt, because we might need more than one. Yeah, on Resonance, having a foresight book as blue is kind of a little, maybe a little say. But so now we have an orange book to remind us that this is an orange skill. And we're just about done with... Okay, oronoscopy is now level 2. And we can now learn pyroglyphics. So Kittling Ripe's Tasty Treats gives us a memory of satisfaction, which we can come over to the Ava desk and plug in with our Arab. And that. So Penitents and Precursors with 5 Grail gives a beguiling melody. None of our other skills give Grail yet, but we do have the knife we can use to bring us to 6 scale and get to Grail Birth. And notice without sufficient, it's frustration or temptation, but with sufficient, it is birth. I can master this mystery. We finished reading Confounding Parable. So that gives us... We can start reading Eva's Treasury here with Confounding Parable, Faust, and Oronoscopy. I can master this mystery, Sky Harmony. Anything else that's available to read right now? 10 Moth is beyond us, 10 Winter is beyond us, 12 Sky way beyond us. Journey to the Grove, I don't think we can get to 10 Grail just yet. We can read Traveling at Night later. Yeah, so we can do... So we'll want to read Traveling at Night Volume 2, so we can go ahead and read A Silent Voice again and get another Confounding Parable to read that with. Hieroglyphics to forge one lantern. One script that all the world must read, even the blind, and it is written in flames. Matters of fireworks and their kin, lights, colors, and infernal detonations. The backstairs, the secret artery of the house. All those abbots and barons and all their crowds of retainers needed their chamber pots emptying and their boots cleaning. These are the stairs that the boots and the chamber pots went up and down. They were notoriously cramped and treacherous. It was a rare year some poor scallion didn't crack an ankle. It was the Suppression Bureau at very long last who remodeled the stairs and put in electric lights. And people say the Suppression Bureau never did a hush house any good. We have a Lepidoptery display, heart-centric, a collection of Lepidopteran insects with unusual characteristics, and a Lepidoptery display, Grail-centric, with a collection of Lepidopteran insects with unusual characteristics. Seems to be the only thing in here, but what it has done is it has opened up this room, a heart-haunted room. The light in this room dims in pulses of sunset red over and over in a half-heard heartbeat that matches the crashing of the waves below. It'll need careful exorcism from someone attuned to these influences. Okay, so that one will be a little easier because it is 8 Grail, so we'll have a little bit easier time getting there. We could also use 8 Heart or 8 Moon. And we have a Rattling Bridge. Each time the wind makes its rounds, the whole bridge shakes. On its threshold, there's a serpentine knot mark in browned blood. The mark is fading, but it still trembles with the power of the spirit that waits in it. A great servant of the old house, perhaps one of the last of the fine takers themselves. I must pacify it with a suitable offering before I can pass. So we'll have to give it some ink, which I think we have enough ink laying around that we might be able to do that. Or we can actually use inks of containment with whist and maybe some winter. So we would need something with winter. So we can take our health and let's get a winter memory. We can use Lady Eva's Repose. Gives us 2 winter. Because inks of containment it should give us some ink if we get at least 5 winter. So we're coming up on night, so we'll use our core to get another 6 pence at the Sweet Bones. Alright, so there's our Confounding Parable. And there is our Regret. So we can come over here to our Pale Desk. Actually, we should be able to do that here. Yes, because we can do winter, winter, winter. Oh, so 5 winter gives us Eigengrau. We'd need 5 moon to make Catwink. Confounding Parable gives us 2 moon. Is there anything we can do that would get us 2 more moon? I don't think so. No. So for right now, we'll just go ahead and we will make... Now, let's see. Is there anything we can do with those? Does not look like it. Because we can get 4, 5, 6. Well, we can try reading with White Book of Brittany. Just so we don't waste that piece of memory that we made. So that gets us to 8. The knife will get us... Well, the knife is in use right now, so, but the knife will get us 9 once we get there. So we'll go ahead and we'll start that. Then we'll need another winter memory, which we can do. We can do another reading of Lady Eva's Repose to get another regret, which will give us the 2 winter we need. And if not, we also have plenty of winter stuff hanging around, I'm pretty sure. Okay, so for tomorrow, we're going to want to save our memory foresight, because I'm going to be hiring Denzel, I believe, to clear out the foundry, or we'll maybe use it to read a book. We have finished reading An Impertinent Vigilation, a book of kitchen garden techniques and aphrodisiac recipes recorded by Ernestine Peterhans, the Iron Seneschal of Hush House for 3 generations of DeWolfs. Peterhans asserts casually that the rousing liquor called Ruby Wise Ruin, which Leaves and Thorns techniques can brew from flowers, was a favorite of the notoriously severe Baron Thomas. If true, this would have raised eyebrows had it been known in his lifetime. Okay, so that gives us another hint for a scholar-level recipe. So Ruby Wise Ruin can be made with leaves and thorns and flowers. Peterhans mentions that one of those leaves and thorns techniques, with sufficient nectar aspect, can supposedly cause a marvelous copper fruit to burst from wood, although she has never managed it herself. But in a certain season, the pear trees in the Practic Garden will deliver something similar. So that's another hint for a high-level recipe. So we've got the knife back. We've learned Memory of Satisfaction and Leaves and Thorns. So we will mark this book with Memory Satisfaction. And let's see, what was our other Memory Satisfaction book we had? Kitling Ripe's Tasty Treats. That one's a little... Since that one is green instead of red, we will swap it with an Impertinent Vigilation. That way we have red for a Grail memory. And our core has gotten us another 6 pence. We can learn Leaves and Thorns. And we have finished reading Eva's Treasury. Eva DeWolf, last of the Brandkrugs, discusses the occult and aesthetic properties of jewels and other precious minerals. Black nephrite and solasite for nowhere. Orichalc and amber for yes. Amethyst and the night key of the spider door. Eva points out, bitterly, that there is no shortage of uplifting parables and proverbs about the saving graces of a flaw in a jewel, but that no one, not jeweler, not priest, not hour, has ever found a way to repair such a flaw. So this has given us another memory of foresight and a lesson in Enberry and Lapidary. So we can mark that as such and plop it down on our red shelf. And let's see, so we have a fat left. Is there anything we can do with that that would be useful? I don't believe so at this point. Like I said, we could work, and if we tried to use the fat at the Sweet Bones, this is what it would do. It's fortune-telling. I've garnered enough mystique to tell fortunes for pennies. Undignified, perhaps, for the Librarian of Hush House, but times are hard. But we don't need to do that for now. So we will go ahead and work our way to the next day. So there's another winter memory that we can use. So hopefully this needs either soul or some furniture. So we need winter furniture. So let's find a winter piece of furniture. Oh, we have winter wall art, so that doesn't really help us. Let's find... Let's see, winter furniture. There's one winter. Can we find anything with two winter? That's a thing. Winter 1. Yeah, we might be out of luck on reading that book, but we took a chance and didn't want to waste our soul piece. So, let's see. I don't think we have anything that we can... Maybe over here? Nope, no winter furniture. Just a winter thing. Everything is just one. So, unfortunately, we're going to have to try that one again another day. And we've learned leaves and thorns. There is no scent without sorrow. Grail and nectar. So we can start learning Enberry and Lapidary. And we wanted to get Denzel's help today. Denzel Smith, strong as oak, blackened by smoke. He will never surpass his father, but he is no longer a soldier, but he still has his craft. So we can speak with Denzel. Denzel will talk about practical matters, although he prefers to sit in silence. A shilling will buy his help for a day. What do you need? Alrighty. So we have blacksmith's assistants. We have some hail. Ice wraps on the roofs and treetops. 3 edge and 3 sky. Well, that actually does kind of help us out here. We can collect our memory foresight. Alright, so that actually gives us a choice to make. Can we get him to possibly, let's see, we have 8 edge there. Need 8 edge there. So could we possibly get him to 8? So we have 2 from him. We have 1 from Arab or 1 from metal. That would be 3. 4, 5, 6. 7 from the knife. And... oh, we would have to use... we wouldn't even have to use a soul piece. We could just use some Slosh Jennings. So yes, we can actually do that. We can get him to 8 and have him open one of those bigger rooms. Make use of the weather since we have it. Was planning to open the forge, but 8 edge gives us the ability to open up one of these bigger rooms up here. Enberry and Lapidary, 2 sky, 1 forge. Lightning is a little life, and jewels are its eyes. So let's see, what can we do with this memory foresight then? We can read Old Copper Nose and the Softer Metal. Oh, we need forge, which is going to be our desk up here. Metal, metal, transformations, liberations, and that gives us enough to match this mystery. And we can read Old Copper Nose and the Softer Metal. Mysteries in this have defeated me for now. So we can pop this up here for now. Oh, I forgot we had some books over, some winter books over here we can read. I completely forgot I put these over here. So we can read that one. Yeah, we could probably read Musgrave Sketches. 8 winter, we need to rest our whist. So we will send our whist to the Sweet Bones. And add a twopence. And we will finish up this last day of winter, seeing if we can get at least one more book read here. Down to the Grushians. And Hail gets him to 7. And then the knife will get him to 8. Alright, so that gets him to 8 edge. So we can use him. We can open up this room here, or we can open up this room up here. Silvered Snares or the Great Hall. The Dim Hall. Okay, so there's our whist. So we can come back over to the Pale Desk and try and read the 5 letters of consequence. Or 5 letters on memory, rather. Well, that one gets us to 8 there. We only need 6, so we could read Musgrave Sketches. Yeah, I think that's what we'll do. We'll read Musgrave Sketches instead, since we can get to 8. And Rhyme and Remembrance wouldn't really be all that helpful to us, I don't think. But so we'll go ahead and start reading that. I can master this mystery. This will also give us a new skill. Tool has boosted their aspects appropriately. And we will chat with him one time to see if he can give us a useful memory for something we can do. And let's see. So we'll use our core to do some work. Manual labor. Oh, he's given us memory, a stolen secret, something I overheard in dreams. Well, with that, we could be able to get inks of containment. So, let's see. We'll speak with him one more time and see what else he can give us. So now we can go to a desk with moon on it, which would be here. And with inks of containment, still that's only 4. But we can then add our lunar globe here to get us to 5, and we can make a bottle of catwink. Brew a minor ink with a virtue against vermin. Right, and we have finished reading Old Copper Nose and the Softer Metal, a disgraceful compendium of ribald poetry about the habits and corruptions of Henry VIII. Henry's great misfortune, his crushing industry at a jousting bout, has left him unable to stand any straighter than a splintered withy. The most savage mockery is reserved for Henry's great debasement, where the corruption of his softer metal is supposed to have crept into the coin of the realm. The last and most serious lampoon makes seditious references to the Crucible Revolution. Now, that actually does sound familiar. We've heard reference to Henry VIII before. And if we look down here, yes, the kitchen. So supposedly, King Henry came to Cornwall looking for the king's metal to restore his alloy. But this says that he took tin, which was the king's metal, and started making it into the coin of the realm, so debasing the currency, basically. Not exactly the thing you really want to talk about the king very often, but apparently our author didn't really care all that much. So we've learned more, gotten a memory foresight back, and 2 lessons on bells and brasseries. So we can mark this with foresight. And we can take those and do that. And we need sky or forge. So we can use our Faust to level that to level 3. And we need 2 more memories, or level 2, so we need 2 more memories to get it to level 3. So we can use our, let's see, we can use health here. We need forge. So we can do that. We'll pop this back onto our shelf here. And then this one we can use, actually when this is finished, we can use that desk. Because we're going to need our shaft for that. Alright, so that gives us fear. Not really useful very much. We'll do one more talk cycle with him before we put him to work, just so we don't, since we have him, might as well talk to him. There's our core and a 6-pence. And bells and brasseries is now level 2. 3 forge, 2 sky. So we need a sky memory or a forge memory. Oh, we can do, we have our desk up here that takes heart. I almost forgot. Or our FET. We can use our FET to read a book here. We need sky. We can do a 7th voice. And that will use up our last lesson that we've got here. Catwink, dark and pungent. The smell of catwink puts off vermin, but it is very difficult to read in sunlight. An ink of containment. And another memory foresight. So we'll go ahead and put him to work. So we can have him open up either the dim hall, or we can have him open up the silvered snares. I think we'll open up, this one tends to have more useful stuff in it right now, so we'll open up the dim hall. The walls are hung with weapons. As I essay the threshold, a whisper troubles the still air, and a pair of wall-hung swords glints menacingly, more of Van Loren's protections. They seem much stronger on the seaward than the landward side of the house. One might begin to wonder if they were intended to protect against outsiders at all. So we can start him working on that. And we got a free memory foresight, which we're already reading another book for. So we can now use our core. Oh, we're already using our FET to read something. So there we've got memory foresight back again. And we finished reading Musgrave's sketches. Musgrave, 4th Baron Brankrug, was widely mocked as the Bleating Baron and the Lamb de Wolf, but these sketches reveal a complex, somber inner life. Art begins in colors, grows dappled, finally is either mostly darkness or mostly light. Musgrave discusses the temptation of the perfectly minimal, palest painting. He has so far managed to resist this temptation, but does guiltily describe success in using sights and sensations with winter aspect to create first a chilly elixir from flowers, which he believes he can refine further into a final pigment. So again, there's another crafting hint. So sights and sensations with winter aspect and flowers can make a chilly elixir. We've got lessons on sights and sensations, and a bittersweet certainty. Eventually, the sun in rags always brings its beautiful ending. 2 winter and 1 lantern. Well, we can certainly start learning sights and sensations while we wait for our other book to finish reading. And then we can use the bittersweet certainty to level it up, so we'll need to rest our whist once more. Because we would need sky or winter, and whist is the only source of winter. Either our frost or our winter would need to be rested. And we need to mark this because this is a new memory we have not seen before. Bittersweet Certainty. And we can then throw this onto our memory collection shelf, because that's a unique memory down there. And Perugian Diaries will throw this, so this will be our unique memories shelf down here. And I think one more we can read. Let's see. Can we get to... Yeah, I think we can get to 4 Moon. Yes, so we can use... Yeah, we can just use Magapine Mysteries and our core, and that gets us enough to read Hush House Lectures. And we finished rereading A Silent Voice to get our second memory for that. So as soon as this finishes... To mix the rarest colors, a merciless detachment is required. 2 sky and 1 winter. So we can add the bells, the lesson, confounding parable, and foresight, and shapt, and get this up to level 3. The Dueling Hall. In baronial times, this was a ballroom, but in the 19th century, during Brulot's time as librarian, a dyad of eternally dueling edgelong agreed to stay at Hush House for a year and a day to allow Natalia to study them, if she satisfied certain conditions. A properly equipped space was one of those conditions. Ultimately, the business turned out to be a trap or trick played by one or both of the dyad, and they left after only a single battle. Their names are recorded as Mistress Dearday and Father Torg. Well, we've heard that before, Torg's cleansing. I guess that's where the idea for it came from. And this has a new crafting area, the practice equipment. Still the best place in the house to get hurt. We can evolve via illumination here, and we can craft using edge, scale, lantern, or heart. We also have, as you can see, a variety of various wall art weapons that are hanging on the wall. And they come in a variety of different aspects, so we may find those useful. This also has a knife. This is the line of division. This is something we can use when we're cooking various things. Sebastian's swords, matching 18th century cutlasses. The initials SD are engraved on the blade near the hilt. Now our knife also counts as a knife here, so if we ever need to use 2 knives at the same time, we have that available. And Natalia Brulot. This bust is cast in iron, so we know she's going to be one of the librarians, but we don't know exactly where she's going to fall yet. However, we do have, now that this room has finished opening, we can come over here and we can use our Catwink to open this rattling bridge. Because the Catwink does have 2 moon on it, it fulfills the requirement for 2 moon. And we can let that room start working. So Bells is now level 3, 4 Forge, 3 Sky. Moving on up in our skills. And as soon as this finishes, we can update Sights and Sensations to level 2. So Sights and Sensations Lesson, Bittersweet Certainty, and the Whist. We'll get this to level 2. So that gives us 3 Sky and 2 Winter. And this will give us a lesson on, just as a reminder, give us another lesson on Sickle and Eclipse, which is currently at level 1. So we should be able, and we have our Arab, so we should be able to upgrade that. We can go ahead and sleep on this Memory Fear because it is scale, so it'll fit in our bed. We can hold on to that for a few minutes, for a little while, maybe find use for it tomorrow. Okay, so this is the end of winter. And just in case something is about to happen here, I will grab Mrs. Kill to help us out for the day. Because we have something that might be just about to start here. We have some snow for more winter and sky. And yes, this is what I was expecting. So we have reached the time of Numa. Numa, shortest season, labyrinth season, when the year loses its way, when time is a river and memory a winged bird. In Numa, oddities ripen in the gardens of the Isle. Unexpected visitors arrive. Memory departs. When Numa ends, all memories will vanish with it, even persistent ones. One of every 9 seasons in Brandkrug is Numa, but Numa is the vagabond. Numa has no heralds. Numa might arrive twice in 1 year, or 4 years might pass without the touch of its mists. And we have another weather, Noombroom, Numa's bruminous vapors. 5 knock, 5 moon, 5 rose, and 5 winter. So this is a very powerful memory that we can probably use to read something with. And our yearly stipend has arrived. The yearly stipend from St. Ronwin's has arrived, along with the usual rather sniffy reminder that I should spend it wisely. So we will collect our 1 iron spintria and a 1 pound note. And we have a matter of time. It has been called a wheel, but my family perceive it as flame, coolest at its heart, but wildest at its edge. We will draw a Numa incident, find a suitable visitor for the current Numa incident, or retire the current Numa incident if there are no visitors left for it. What moves in the mist? Drawing a new Numa incident. We have finished reading the collected Hush House lectures and gained a lesson on sickle and eclipse. In the 1800s, Dr. Aaron Peel was invited to give a series of lectures to the Curia. They combine his pithy view of the histories with his peculiar brand of unhelpfully ironical insight. Oops, and I completely forgot to read the notes for it. But we will do that another time. Because Numa is here, and Numa will not wait for us. So what we can do, we will start Sickle and Eclipse upgrading. And we will leave it at that for now, and we will come back and we will start with getting into Numa and exploring the various things that Numa has to offer. So thank you for joining me. If you've enjoyed what you've been watching, feel free to leave a like or a comment. Subscribe if you'd like to see more of these. And I hope to see you next time. Thank you for joining me.